So you want to get into riding motorcycles, huh? You want to buy your first motorcycle, but you're not really sure what to start off with? Well, stay tuned, because in this video I'm gonna cover what's the best starter bike. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. What is up, YouTube? It's your boy, ThatRnRyder. Today I want to talk to you guys about what's the best starter bike. So if you're looking into start riding and get your first motorcycle, but you're not really sure what to get, stay tuned, because I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you guys about what's the best bike to start on with. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell symbol so you can get notified every time that I upload a video. But anyways, guys, let's get into it. So for me, this video is going to be based off of personal experience and some research. And by the way, this is going to be for all of you looking to get a sports bike. So not for any dirt bike or anything off-road like that. If you're looking to ride a street sports bike, then this is the video for you. Anyways, with a starter bike, I have 3 options that you could really go with, and I'm gonna talk about the pros and cons in each, and I'm gonna narrow it down to my number 1 pick. So first bike many of you probably already heard of, which is a 300, and whether that be a Ninja 300, Yamaha R3, I'm not sure if Suzuki makes a 300. I haven't heard of that, but I know Yamaha and Kawasaki make a 300, and this is a great starter bike. This is more for if you've never ever ridden at all and you're you're really scared to ride or whatever, or maybe you're someone smaller, then a 300 would be a good starter bike. It's really light, and it has a low ride height, so you load to the ground. It's cheap, and then it doesn't have a lot of power. Now, so those are the pros of a 300. Now the cons of a 300, I would say it's so light that when you get on the highway and it's really windy, you're gonna feel your bike moving side to side. So the wind is really gonna mess with you on a 300. It's gonna push you everywhere, and that can be kind of scary. That's one of the cons. The other con is that if you do get on the highway, it's gonna be your bike's gonna be like, you're gonna be redlining it. The 300 doesn't have a lot of power, and once you get on the highway, you're pretty much squeezing every bit of power out of it, and you're gonna be screaming the engine. The engine's gonna be screaming. Now the other con with the 300 is that you're gonna outgrow it really quick, and you'll get bored once you get I myself didn't start on a 300, but I've heard of other people, and just a couple months in, once you get used to it, you're gonna get bored and you're gonna want to upgrade. So there you go. That's the pros and cons of a 300. Now with a 300, you could get one fairly cheap, and for your first bike, and pretty much just any purchase in general, I recommend that you stay away from brand new. As soon as you get a brand new bike, the value depreciates really quick. So let's say you get a 300 and you get bored of it, you bought it brand new. Once you go and try to sell it or trade it in for something bigger, you're gonna lose so much money, because the value of it just really drops. So definitely for your first bike, if anything, look for something used, something that you wouldn't mind dropping as well, because there's a high chance that you might drop the bike. And if you get a brand new bike, you're gonna hate yourself, you're gonna cry if you drop it. But alright guys, so the next bike on the list is gonna be a 600cc Super Sport. Now this to me could be a starter bike, but depends on the person. So with a 600cc Super Sport, that's what I ride now. I ride a Gixxer 600, and this is gonna be one hell of a fast bike. So if you've never been on a bike, this bike might be too much for you, depending on, you know, how much you can control the throttle. Because I mean, this is a fast bike, but you know, if you don't get on the throttle, it's not really dangerous. But with these bikes, you know, just a slight, you know, accident, hit on the throttle or whatever, you know, it sends you flying. And also the front brakes on these bikes are really powerful. So now let's talk about the pros. The pros of a 600, of course, is the sexiness. You know, out of the 3 bikes that I'm going to talk about, the Super Sport is going to be, in my opinion, the most aesthetically pleasing. It's going to be really sexy. The sound these inline fours make is just beautiful. Has that high revving engine, and of course the power. So I mean, this bike has a lot of pros. It's definitely going to be the fastest and best looking out of all of them. But let's talk about some of the cons. Now the cons of a Super Sport, a 600, is going to be, one, the cost. So it's going to cost a lot more than a 300 or any other bike on my list, and that's for the bike itself. And then you also got to think about insurance. So with a Super Sport, especially if you're young, the insurance is going to be so much higher than any other bike. When I got my first bike, I looked into get a 600, and the insurance for this bike, I want to say, was double or not even more than what I was going to pay for the bike that I got. So you know, if you're young and you're not making that much money, that'd be one of the things you got to consider, is the insurance on a Super Sport. It's a lot higher. But other than that, I mean, if you can afford the insurance and the bike, and you know, you think you can control yourself with the throttle, because at first, you know, you're still learning, and the Super Sport, the throttle is really touchy, so it gets you in trouble really quick. But if you think you can do all that, then by all means, starting on a 600 will be your best bet, because with a 600 you're gonna have lots of fun, and you're not gonna outgrow it. You know, I've had this thing over a year and I still have lots of fun with it, so you're not gonna outgrow it as fast. You could pretty much have this thing forever. So yeah, guys, that's what I think about a 600. Now, the last and final bike, and this is gonna be the best starter bike in my opinion. This is gonna be the bike that I actually started on, and I had for about a year until I upgraded to this 600, and that was a Ninja 650R. So the Ninja 650R, you might be thinking, well, that's a 650, isn't that faster than a 600? Well, not really, guys. The 650 is what's considered a sport touring bike. So even though it has more cc's than a 600, the engine, it's a parallel twin, and the way it's set up, it doesn't have as much horsepower as a 600, but it has more torque. So it has really good torque to get you going, and has plenty of power for you to have fun and not get bored of it really quickly. So that's a plus. But yeah, that's the 650R is, in my opinion, the best starter bike. And I know Kawasaki has a 650R. That's what I started on, and they look actually really nice. I mean, they're not as nice as the Super Sport, obviously. It is more of a upright sitting position, so you're kind of more upright, and the handlebars, instead of being sports bar like these, they're kind of in a more upright position as well. Although if you like, they do sell sport handlebars that you can buy for it, like this one. But anyways, let's talk about the pros of a 650. A 650 is going to be cheaper than a 600. Insurance is going to be a lot cheaper. Like I mentioned, the insurance for this was going to be like double when I first got my 650. And overall, it's just going to be less dangerous as your first bike. I mean, the 650 has enough power. You can still get in trouble with it. I topped mine's out at 130. So, I mean, it's got plenty of go. And it's got plenty of go. But, of course, it's not as crazy as a 600. I mean, this 600 can do like 170. But, hey, another biker. But anyways, some other pros of a 650 is the riding position. So maybe, you know, you don't really want to start off into a really sporty, aggressive riding position. So you want to get a 650 with a more upright position. What else is good about a 650? Another thing is, unlike the 300, with the 650, you can, you know, really take it on the highway with no issues. It's a lot heavier than the 300, so you don't have the issue of the weight, you know, throwing you around everywhere. I'm sorry, not the weight, the wind throwing you around everywhere. And you also have enough power to be on the highway and just cruising without having your, you know, your engine topped out screaming with all its power. You know, with a 650, you could easily go on the highway. So yeah, guys, for cons, I can't really think of many cons for the 650 besides, you know, with me, I really like the Super Sport, so I like the aggressive styling and sitting position. And then I also like the sound of a Super Sport. So with a 650, you have kind of like that dirt bike sound because it's not an inline 4 and it doesn't rev as high. So it's not a screamer like these Super Sports. So that's definitely the con. But hey, for your first bike, it's perfect. I had mine for like a year, and then I decided to sell it and get me this 600. And hey, after you get that experience and you get comfortable, and you know, maybe you can afford a 600, I definitely recommend that you move up to a 600. Yeah, great clips. Anyways, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Make sure to hit that little bell symbol to be notified when I upload videos. And go ahead and smash the like button if you like this video, and comment down below what you guys started on and what you guys are riding right now. But anyways, guys, ThatRnRyder, peace.